The story begins with Gloria, a woman who shared an apartment with her boyfriend. For a while, she had been struggling to find a job, despite her numerous attempts in different fields. Each failure made her more discouraged, and this started to affect her relationship, leading to frequent arguments with her boyfriend. He tried to convince her to separate professional frustrations from personal ones, but this only aggravated her irritation. On a particularly tense day, after a more heated argument, the boyfriend, exhausted from the constant fighting, told her that everything between them was over. He asked her to leave the apartment and go back to her hometown. With a heavy heart and no alternatives, Gloria packed her bags and left. When she returned to her hometown, Gloria had a pleasant surprise. She reconnected with Oscar, a childhood friend. They hugged and shared stories, reconnecting after so long. Oscar revealed that he had taken over his father's bar and invited Gloria to visit him. The place was cozy and full of life, a perfect setting for someone like Gloria, who had a special appreciation for drinks. Before long, she became a regular at the bar, enjoying every sip of beer or liquor with the enthusiasm of a true connoisseur. As she indulged in the habit of drinking a bit more than she should, Gloria also developed a nervous tic, scratching her head when lost in thought. Oscar, noticing her state, chose not to comment, perhaps understanding that she needed that moment of freedom. At the bar, Gloria made friends with other regulars who, like Oscar, accepted her as part of that small community. One night, after spending a few extra hours at the bar, Gloria was home alone when her phone rang. It was Oscar, with an urgent voice, asking her to turn on the television. On the screen, a news broadcast was showing live images of a monstrous creature destroying the city of Seoul. The size of the creature was so immense that the skyscrapers around it seemed like small toy blocks. Shocked by the scenes of destruction, Gloria felt a chill run down her spine, wondering if such destruction could spread across the globe. Although terror consumed her, the alcohol took effect, and she eventually fell asleep on the couch. Oscar, on the other hand, realized that Gloria really needed a job, since she had been struggling to find one. He went to her apartment and offered her a job at his bar. Initially, Gloria found the offer strange, as she would now be working as a waitress at the same bar where she used to drink, but since it was her only job offer, she accepted and agreed to work with Oscar. Oscar, pleased with her decision, gave her a large television as a gift so she could watch the news channels and movies. Gloria placed the TV in the living room and immediately turned on the news. They were once again reporting about the same giant monster causing destruction in Korea, but something very surprising was shown. The monster's behavior was strangely synchronized with Gloria's movements. For example, when Gloria scratched her head, the creature also scratched its head. When Gloria picked up objects, the monster seemed to do the same, carrying things similarly and destroying buildings in its path. After a while, Gloria started noticing these strange coincidences and realized that there could be an unusual connection between her actions and the creature's behavior. Initially, Gloria dismissed the connection as mere coincidence, although part of her wondered why the creature was imitating her movements. She tried to convince herself that maybe she was just imagining things, believing that something like this couldn't actually happen. After working continuously, Gloria eventually got sick and decided to take 2 days off to rest at home. Interestingly, during those 2 days, the huge monster in South Korea also disappeared, with no sightings reported. However, as soon as Gloria left her apartment after the 2 days, the news reported that the creature had reappeared and was once again causing destruction in the city. When Gloria heard this news, she was shocked. She started to suspect something strange, realizing that the monster only reappeared when she herself left the house. To test her suspicion, Gloria made several hand movements, and to her surprise, the monster imitated each of them precisely, as if they were somehow connected. She realized that whenever she entered the park area, the creature in Korea seemed to activate and followed each of her movements. When she sat down, the creature also sat down. This confirmed her suspicion. Somehow, she had gained control over the dangerous monster. With this nagging feeling, she searched every inch of the park, looking for any anomaly or clue that could clarify the bizarre connection between her and the monster. She inspected everything for anything out of the ordinary, but in the end, she found nothing but more doubts. Exhausted and confused, Gloria unsuccessfully tried to let fatigue overcome her anxiety in order to sleep, but the restlessness was stronger. Without delay, she invited Oscar and some friends to come over. Sitting in the living room, she poured out the entire story, revealing her suspicion of a supernatural connection with the monster that was terrorizing South Korea. According to her, every gesture she made was mirrored by the monster in perfect synchrony. Oscar and the others, however, thought it was a joke, a well-set-up prank, and laughed at the idea. Challenged to prove her claims, Gloria dragged them back to the park, where she believed the connection with the creature was stronger. With a cell phone in hand, she accessed a live stream showing the monster in action on the other side of the world. She began making broad, theatrical movements, and to everyone's surprise, the monster mirrored every action she made on the screen, triggering a mix of horror and fascination in the group. Now, there was no doubt. There was a real and undeniable link between Gloria and that giant beast. As they were still trying to process what was happening, the news reported that the South Korean military had begun attacking the monster. Each explosion that hit the creature was felt by Gloria in her own body. She screamed with every impact, feeling the explosions as if they were happening to her. In a panic-stricken movement, she began flailing her arms, and the monster, replicating her motions, began to bring down helicopters and military planes. The violence of the military response only intensified, and with it, Gloria's pain and despair. A sharp pain struck her abdomen, so strong that it made her lose consciousness. Oscar and the friends, now fully aware of the seriousness of the situation, supported her and took her back to the apartment. There, they did what they could to ease her suffering, while confusion and fear consumed everyone. They wondered how far this bizarre and painful connection would go and what they could do before it was too late. When Gloria woke up, the news displayed the chaos. The monster had collided with buildings, increasing the devastation in the city. She shrank in guilt upon seeing the physical and financial damage her involuntary connection had caused. Now she faced an agonizing dilemma: how to break free from this link without causing more destruction. Yet the solution to severing the bond remained a mystery. In the midst of her search for answers, Gloria came across a news story that alarmed her even more. A giant robot had appeared next to the monster, and together they posed a new threat to South Korea. Without wasting time, she called Oscar. He revealed something surprising. Somehow he was controlling the robot. This meant that while Gloria influenced the monster, Oscar was guiding the robot. The situation was as absurd as it was dangerous. Gloria remembered the beginning of it all, connecting the dots back to that day in the mysterious park, where she and Oscar had spent some time together. This could explain why he was now connected to the robot as well. For now, the creatures were quiet, but the South Korean government was on high alert, fearing that their collaboration could completely destroy the city. Gloria and Oscar returned to the park to discuss the situation. Furthermore, Gloria expressed her desire to apologize to the South Korean people for the chaos she had caused. Knowing that many did not speak English, she needed a way to communicate in Korean. She sought out a translator who could help her convey her messages, allowing her to use the monster to express her regret. With the translator ready, they prepared the messages, while Gloria emphasized to Oscar the importance of maintaining control over the robot. Gloria wrote a sincere apology, expressing her deep regret for the destruction caused and promising to avoid any future actions that could harm the country. With the help of the translator, she prepared the text in Korean and headed to the park, the point of connection with the monster, to communicate her message. At the park, Gloria used her link with the monster to make gestures that signaled to the people in South Korea to stay away, ensuring everyone's safety. Then, surprisingly delicately for a creature of its size, the monster knelt down and began writing the apology on the ground, with clear and precise letters in Korean. The scene was so unusual and touching that upon seeing the monster write, many South Koreans moved from a state of alert to one of relief and even empathy. The message of sincere regret transformed the fear into a new perception of the monster, now seen as a potential protector, not a threat. Back at the local bar, one of Oscar's friends expressed admiration for what Gloria had accomplished, praising the effectiveness and courage of her plan. With a lighter heart, Gloria returned home, believing she had started to repair the damage she had caused. However, the following morning brought a shock. The monster had disappeared, and now it was the giant robot causing havoc in the city. Frantic, Gloria ran to the park and found Oscar and his friends controlling the robot, laughing as they directed its destruction toward already damaged areas. Their joy was evident, treating the situation like a big game. Gloria, her anger rising, confronted Oscar. She couldn't believe he was using the power they had discovered to cause more chaos, and worse, enjoying the misfortune of others. She scolded him severely, emphasizing that their games were costing lives and causing real suffering for many. As they argued, the tension between the monster and the robot escalated in South Korea, mirroring the confrontation between Gloria and Oscar. Determined, Gloria demanded that he stop immediately and leave, but Oscar, arrogant, rejected her authority with disdain, questioning her audacity to try to control him. Challengingly, he declared that he would do whatever he pleased, ignoring Gloria's pleas and logic, persisting in his destructive fun. Their clash was directly mirrored in the confrontation between the monster and the robot, capturing everyone's attention. In a moment of anger, Gloria slapped Oscar. As a response, the monster replicated the action, striking the robot spectacularly, which generated mixed reactions in South Korea. While some found humor in the situation, turning the monster into a hero, others felt the weight of reality, fearing what might follow. Humiliated and driven by a desire for revenge, Oscar couldn't hold back. In a casual encounter at a bar, he tried to destabilize Gloria by offering her a drink, knowing she had promised to stay sober in order to control the monster properly. Gloria, aware of the consequences of losing control, firmly declined, sticking to her commitment of protection. Irritated by the refusal and the ongoing humiliation, Oscar got drunk and returned to the park, where his irresponsibility exacerbated the chaos. Confronted by Gloria, who declared she would no longer work with him, Oscar reacted with a severe threat. If she abandoned him, he would bring destruction beyond the borders of Korea, spreading chaos globally. This threat triggered a physical fight between them, reflected by the deadly battle between the monster and the robot. The struggle between the creatures evolved into an attempt by the robot to suffocate the monster, leaving South Koreans and the world on edge. The public watched horrified by the monumental destruction, fearing that the continuation of the fight would result in the ruin of their city and possibly other regions. Gloria, realizing the escalation of the conflict, paused and approached Oscar. She tried to open a dialogue, asking why he seemed to hold a grudge against her, even after they had shared a friendship since childhood. Oscar then opened his heart. He talked about how they both dreamed big as they grew up, but circumstances led them down different paths. Gloria had moved to another city to study, while he stayed to take care of the family business. He confessed to feeling abandoned, as if Gloria had left him behind. Gloria responded sincerely, arguing that each of them had made choices based on the opportunities that arose, and that she had never intended to betray him. She also confronted Oscar about his recent actions, questioning how he could still feel betrayed after causing so much suffering and destruction. In the middle of this difficult conversation, Gloria received a call from her boyfriend, who expressed his desire to rekindle their relationship, regardless of her circumstances. The call brought a moment of happiness to Gloria, who longed to restore the relationship. Excited, she began packing her things, ready for a fresh start. However, Oscar, realizing he was about to lose Gloria, resorted to blackmail. He threatened to use the robot to cause even more destruction if she left with her boyfriend. Forced to choose between her personal future and the safety of others, Gloria found herself trapped in her apartment, a hostage to Oscar's threat. Sitting, frustrated, she recalled a memorable childhood episode with Oscar. As children, they had participated in a school project where each of them had to build a structure. Gloria's project was superior, but an unexpected storm caused her work to fly away and get stuck in a tree. Oscar, initially helping, was overcome by jealousy and destroyed Gloria's project when he realized its quality. This moment of betrayal revealed the envy Oscar harbored, a trait that seemed to persist to this day. A lightning bolt cut through the dark sky. Gloria, struck by the lightning, suffered only a small cut on her head, which began to bleed slightly. She ran her hand through her hair, confused by the sudden pain. Moved by a desire for revenge for the injustices she had suffered, Gloria did not imagine that this lightning bolt would, in some way, start the fulfillment of her wish. The coincidence of being struck at the same time she was holding a small doll, and Oscar experiencing a similar fate, was not mere coincidence. Since childhood, they had been inexplicably connected to these objects, which seemed to control more than they should. When making the connection, Gloria wasted no time. She confronted Oscar, pointing out the roots of his destructive behavior. "You've always been jealous of me, from the very beginning. This jealousy drives you to act like this, while you resent me for having prospered and feel so alone." This revelation gave her a psychological advantage, and she felt stronger and more confident. Oscar, filled with rage, tried to attack her, but Gloria was quick and knocked him down with a chair, sending him away. However, Gloria also knew how to resolve everything and had an idea she was ready to execute. Days later, Oscar discovered that Gloria had gone to South Korea. In retaliation, he went to the park area to create some chaos. However, by then, Gloria had already arrived in South Korea and boldly positioned herself in front of the robot. A truth was revealed. When Gloria was in South Korea, her monster did not appear there. Instead, it appeared on the other side, in the park where Oscar was. Hello, my dear friends. This is the movie Colossal. Have you seen it? Comment. Good. So we know you really liked it and watched it all the way through. Now let's continue. The giant monster began to materialize right in front of Oscar, terrorizing him, which caused him to flee in panic, just as the robot did in South Korea. Meanwhile, Gloria sat, contemplating that she had Oscar in her hands, something the monster could also reach. When her monster lifted Oscar into the air, Gloria quickly threw him away, making both Oscar and the giant monster move away, marking the end of the threat. The South Koreans, who were extremely frightened, relaxed when they realized the monster would not betray them and would protect them at all costs, having also saved them from the robot. Everyone began to see the monster as a savior. Gloria felt happy to have saved everyone, but she decided that she would never return to that park and would not allow the monster to appear there again in the future. However, she felt a little sad, as everyone who entered her life had been very selfish, thinking only of themselves. She prepared for future challenges and began to live well. Thus, the movie ends. If you like this movie, then I recommend watching this other one as well. I guarantee you will like it. See you there.